Hi Capricorn, welcome to your February 2024 Astro Tarot with me, Raphael from Reydiant Reality. It's an absolute pleasure to have you. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for joining me. Quick note, these readings are for your sun, moon and ascendant sign, though if you're only going to watch one, remember to make sure it's for your ascendant, or also known as your rising sign. It's going to be the most accurate for you on that day-to-day level. Remember, I am using whole sign tropical Western astrology for those of you that would like to know. And remember, they are general reading, so remember to use your own discernment. Before we start, as always, I would like to bless my decks of cards with all forms of love, light, peace, prosperity and abundance, and I pray that the messages that come through are ultimately clear and concise and they help you on your path to your highest vibrational good. So I'm going to pop these to the side, put these over here actually, and get straight into it. So I want to preface by saying Pluto is the power player this month, right? There's no getting around it. On the 21st of January, Pluto moved back into the sign of Aquarius. Now, for those of you that haven't been paying attention, yes, this is for February 2024. I'm prefacing this video with information that is important. Okay. Right, because there's always someone in the comments like, oh, you're talking about this, it says February. Yes, it's for February, but this is important backstory. Okay, so 21st of January, Pluto came into the sign of Aquarius. Cast your mind back to March 7th of 2023. Pluto entered Aquarius at that point, and it was for like about 2 months-ish, right? We got a really good taste of what might be coming up for us over the next 20 years. As if that wasn't enough, now we are getting a much longer taste. It's staying in Aquarius now until like September the 8th. It will dip back into Capricorn at the very end of your sign where it feels like it's been there forever, right? And then it will come back into on the November the 20th. It will come back into Aquarius. It's there for the next 20 years. This is a big transit for all of us, and Pluto is doing some big things for all of us in this month. For you, this is all happening because Aquarius for you represents or is occupied by your second house, or occupies your second house. This is about your money, your finances, your resources, your possessions, your values, your self-esteem, your self-worth, but it's also about your food, right? How you nourish yourself is the second house. On the 5th of the month, Mercury, the lord of haste, speed, communication, money, finances and resources, comes into the sign. Venus does rule money, but Venus is more like the luxury and the pleasure derived from money and possessions, whereas Mercury is money, the flow of money, the transactions of money, what money is built for, right? Mercury coming into the second house conjunct Pluto. This is we haven't had this yet. Right, so this is the first time, or the first one that we're going to have. I mean, you'll have probably about 18 more of these over the course of the next 20 years, but this is the first one. Mercury conjunct Pluto, 0 degrees of Aquarius. Now, here in your second house, Pluto comes into a conjunction with Mercury, who for you rules your 6th house, which is occupied by Gemini, and it rules your 9th house, which is occupied by Virgo. I actually really like this for you starting to consider your daily routines and habits, and also to talk about what it's going to take you to do on a daily level to get you to a new level of learning, a new level of resources. This could be, for some of you, maybe you embark on some kind of course to get financially literate. Maybe you start studying right on a daily level, like what to invest your money in, how to invest your money, where you should put it, what would be wise. This could also be that you are investing or putting money into education in some regard. There's a really strong pull towards the larger considerations of life. For some of you, this might be an international pull because this is the 9th house to be considering. It might also be that you're starting to look at, because Pluto for you rules your 11th house of friendships, right? Your friendships, friendship circles and groups, social structures as well. And it's also your higher aspirations, goals, visions and dreams for your long-term future. So this is you really starting to understand now, right? Because Pluto's the modern ruler of Scorpio. This is you starting to really get a handle on, right, if I want this big future, if this is where I want to go, I need to start fixing this daily money shit right now, right? This is you really getting a handle on this, and maybe even considering what new stuff you might need to learn in order to do it. This could also be that there's a really strong pull for you to up level some things when it comes to learning and the way forward. All of this is definitely having a big effect on your money, your resources, and money matters will start to heat up here. Remember, Pluto is power, control, secrets. It's big money at that. So when Pluto comes into the second, you hear a lot of people freaking out because they're like, oh, this is going to ruin my money. You know, what am I going to do? And like, Pluto is not adverse to giving wealth, but it cares about the real reason that you want that wealth, right? So you can't say like, oh, I want to be super charitable, but in the back of your mind, what you're really chasing is, you know, I just want to rub it in people's faces and be filthy rich so that I can, you know, wipe my ass with clean $50 bills or whatever. One day I will learn to get this filtered business in place, but it's, you know, for now, this is what you got. Jokes aside, Pluto cares about that. It cares about your true intention. And Pluto reveals the pure and the truest potential of whatever it touches. This is happening in your second house. So there's no way this transit can be bad for money. Is it going to bring power struggles around money? Yes, absolutely. Especially if you're unconscious with your money, with your spending, with your, you know, your relationship with money. What is that like? What is your, because Mercury rules your ninth house, what are your beliefs around money? What is your belief system around finances and resources? You know, do you believe that all rich people and wealthy people are crooks? They're all dodgy, that's how they got all of that money. And in the subconscious, if you've got that script running, that's going to stop you from getting rich because it doesn't want you to be the same as all of those people that are filthy, right? So do you see there's some real deep stuff here, right? And this is Pluto. You're going to have to get deep with this stuff. Now, this could also be Mercury conversations around diet and nutrition, right? Sixth house is physical health and vitality. Second house is about food and what you eat and your nutrition. So you could be having a lot of really deep conversations at this time about what you're eating, changing your diet, where you're going to go from here, all of that kind of stuff. And maybe you're learning nutrition and diet. Maybe you're looking into all of that stuff as a way forward for, for studies or even for work. For this, you've got the Eight of Swords. No getting around that there are changes coming to this sector. With the Knight of Cups and the Six of Pentacles. The first thing that I want to say here, be really, really mindful of any sort of get-rich-quick scheme. I will say financial commitments made under this transit are likely to be around for a lot longer than you want them to be. Or maybe not. Maybe you want them to be around for a long time. But what I am saying is, if this is something that you think you're going to be able to smash and pass, don't bother. You won't, right? The Eight of Swords is not that kind of card. It tends to, when the Eight of Swords is involved, you will be held to whatever it is that you sign up for. So just know that you'll be in it for the long haul. If you're okay with that, this is the way to go. Watch out for the get-rich-quick schemes and stuff like that as well. And with the Six of Pentacles, be very, very, very mindful of anybody that asks for money at this time. What I'm talking about is, friends come in with the cap in hand, I really need to borrow some money or whatever the case might be. With all of this combination, you probably won't get it back in the time frame that is promised. So unless this is money that you've got to give or to lose, my advice would be to say no. All right. Now, as if that was on the 5th, on the 13th of the month, Mars, the energy of personal power, right? If Pluto is power in general and big power at that, Mars represents the personal power. This is an explosive combination. Mars is action, energy, passion, excitation, irritation, frustration, anger, war, challenge, conflict, crisis. Coming into connection with Pluto, power, secrets, all of that stuff. Mars rules for you in your chart your 4th house, which is occupied by Aries, and it also rules your, because Mars is the ancient ruler of Scorpio, it also rules your 11th house, which is occupied by Scorpio. This is a sense of being like, when it comes to matters of home, family, property, real estate, etc. And it's all in the 2nd house of money. Right, this could be maybe you're feeling like an outsider when it comes to a family matter, especially around money and finances. I will say be careful with burning bridges here, Capricorn, right? Because Pluto rules your 11th, and in a conjunction with a personal power player, it meets the collective or larger power. So this could be a war or a challenge of some sort that might have a financial slant to it, which is very possible. Remember, the 2nd house is also your possessions. So this could be a care or you know, it could also be like an item that you have, that you own, that ends up costing you more money, right? So Mars rules technological things. This could be your cooker, right? Because Mars is fire and, you know, lasers and all of that stuff. This could be something that ends up costing you money at this time. It could also be that there's a powerful or an innate drive to connect with power players that can help you get your point across in some way. And, you know, because it's Mars, I will say, and it's the ruler of the 11th, this might be where you start looking at your personal finances from a future perspective, and you start thinking, right, how do I future-proof this in order to look after the home, the family, and my personal resources? For this, you've got the Justice card. That's a contract of some sort with the Knight of Pentacles. This is much better with the 4 of Pentacles. I love this for long-term savings. I love this for long-term plans. It looks like some of you might be looking to lock your money away for a certain period of time. And I've got to say, I actually really like this for those of you that are in a position to do that. If you can think long-term, like 2 to 4 years, I actually think this could be very good for you. Now, because the Knight of Pentacles represents a vehicle, it's possible that it could be your vehicle that ends up costing you money, right? And for those of you that have got vehicles on, you know, hire purchase or what's it called, finance or whatever, this might actually be a really good time to think about renegotiating your deal. Same for those of you that own houses and stuff, all very possible as well. If you've got a landlord, right, this might actually be a good time for you to really play hardball. Just a thing to consider when it comes to and then on the 22nd of the month, Mars is going to come into a conjunction with his celestial lover, the Lady Venus, right? So these come together at 7 degrees. So if I never mention the degrees or the dates that this is happening, please always check the description box below, because I always put that information in there. These two are coming together at 7 degrees, and because Pluto is such a power player, a lot of astrologers would still consider this a conjunction to Pluto. Venus coming into this space, though, she's going to ease things off a little bit, right? Whatever fire and Mars has brought and Pluto's intensity, she's softening the edges of all of this. It's possible that whatever, you know, damage has been done because of the 2 previous transits, Venus does kind of come in and says, look, you know what? I'll put a soothing balm on this. And that soothing balm, because Venus for you rules your 5th house of pleasure, joy, romance, children, speculative endeavors, ideas, personal business, and it also rules your 10th house of career. It could be that there's some kind of support either from the family or through the family. Your finances are definitely getting a shake up at this time, but I actually think this is so that you can advance and really enhance your earning potential. Where they've been unchecked or not given enough attention, that's like they're now bringing this to your attention, right, in order to stabilize it. Venus brings that soothing balm, that healing quality. Mars is also your home, so I do wonder if home is a hot topic at this moment. If you lose equity in a home, or the value of your home drops, or whatever, or if that's like a current issue, it will be resolved, right? And probably with a lot less hard work than you think might be needed or might have to be possible. I guess what I'm saying is, whatever happens on the wider world stage around home or property that you own, don't fret. All right, like, even touch wood, you know, even if your home or property goes into negative equity, it will bounce back at some point, right? It has to. You know, and this, I'm not a financial advisor or a mortgage advisor, you know, disclaimer, all of that stuff, right? Don't put all of this on this and be like, oh, that's it, everything's over, it's all awful. For this, you've got the Queen of Cups, usually a water sign woman, Pisces, Cancer, Scorpio. You've got the 8 of Pentacles, and you've got the 5 of Pentacles. Okay, so for some of you, this could be the job comes with a little bit of a consideration. Another way that this also shows up is, outside of all the usual meanings for the 5 of Pentacles, one thing I do want to say, please watch out for, specifically watch out for stomach and or chest injuries when it comes to work. All right, I just because of the combination of cards. Now, outside of that, the 5 of Pentacles does have a special quality where it says, if you open up and you look around a little bit further, you might actually find that the support that you need is closer at hand. And this, because it falls next to the 8 of Pentacles, which is your work, it does suggest that actually there is more help available to you than maybe you're seeing at the moment. So you've got to get out of that doom and gloom mindset. All right. And then the fourth and final transit on the 28th of the month, Mercury is going to come into a conjunction with Saturn's already in Pisces. Mercury is now going to be in there as well, and the Sun, right? So you've got this triple conjunction at 10 degrees of Pisces coming into a conjunction here, right? So for you, the Sun for you rules other people's money. Saturn for you rules you and your second house of money, finances and resources. So other people's money, the Sun, your money, Saturn, and then Mercury rules your 6th house of sacrifice, drudgery, hard things that need to be done whether you want to or not, 9th house, legal matters and or proceedings. All of this in your 3rd house of communications, contracts. There is the 8th house is debt, taxes, death, loans, inheritance, mortgages, debts, taxes, all of that. These could be a hot topic for you at this moment in time, but because it's all happening in the 3rd, I do wonder, especially because Pluto's there as well, if this is an inheritance matter, or potentially that you're having big conversations about where you need to assume responsibility for somebody else's finances in some regard. Not a guarantee, but very possible. You got this with the Knight of Wands. You got this with the 10 of Wands, and you got this with the Moon card. This, for some of you, could literally be an actual trip down memory lane, and not one that you either want to take or have planned for yourself, but one that kind of comes up in order for you to kind of go ahead with it, right? The Moon card tends to represent the past. 10 of Wands is can be travel, but it's usually like movement or a change of location. And you've got all of this with the Knight of Wands. So there's some kind of trip, journey, etc. that it kind of comes up, and it's like you have to follow it. But it will be either to a place that you know well, or maybe to connect or reconnect with people, you know, that maybe you haven't seen for a long time. Okay. On the 9th of February, we are going to have the annual Aquarius new moon. So it's a new moon in your finances, a fresh start with your money, a new beginning when it comes to your money, right? A fresh start in that resource house. This could actually be very welcome, right? In your 2nd house of possessions, like I said earlier, this could also be diet and nutrition. You might say to yourself, you know what, I'm no longer going to eat meat, or you know what, I've been vegan for X amounts of time. I'm actually going to start eating, cheese and milk and whatnot once more. Whatever the case might be. Could also be a new financial destiny of some sort. You've got the gate 35 and experience. The message behind this card is always don't take somebody else's word for it. Have your own experience, right? Because this is going to be different for everybody. Even if you buy the same phone as somebody else, your experience of, with and around that phone is going to be completely different. On the 24th of the month, you're going to have the Virgo full moon, which for you falls in your 9th house of... So full moon, this is bringing something to light. It's also endings, completions, culminations. The 9th house is foreign travel. You know, it's also things that happen at a distance. The 9th house is legal matters and proceedings. The 9th house is also foreign lands, different cultures, and it also represents your higher education, right? Your higher mind, but it's also your belief system, your the structure of your belief system, and your own brand of spirituality, how you connect to the cosmos. It's a very spiritual space, and it's actually a very lucky space. And because this is trine to you, this is sending a harmonious energy to you. So this full moon could actually be quite good for you. And the 9th house also rules grandparents. For this, you've got the gate 19 and sensitivity. Sensitivity is a superpower. And here for you, this card is effectively speaking to your ability to really feel into what's going on, right? So if there are contracts, legal matters, paperwork, and when we say like legal matters, it doesn't always have to be the scary stuff. A visa is a legal matter. Getting a marriage license is a legal matter. You know, signing a contract for a new job is a legal matter. There are so many ways or permutations this can show up as. It's not always worst case scenario, all right? Now, follow that sensitivity and be open, because there are a lot of changes coming up for you, my dear Capricorns, especially in all of the areas that we've mentioned. And that full moon, I think, is really going to highlight to you where really the future is starting to go for you in your life. All right. If you want to get your personal Astro Tarot scope with me, you can do so on the link in the description box below. With that said, I wish you an abundance of all of that good stuff. Have a fantastic month. Let me know in the comments how it shapes up. Take care, and I'll see you soon.